Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You ran out of words. You see, we are dealing with a group of people. Sometimes I struggle to understand, especially the way they are going about a politics of everything, virtually everything. I'm sure if Jesus was to come to Ghana now and decided to give us whatever he brought from heaven, they would surely politicize it and ask why he didn't bring a particular thing or the other. Look, what is the issue here? And I can understand my brother is struggling. We don't have any issue. We are for a local content or a local person taking over, whatever. But we want transparency. We want to know what processes. You have made conclusive statements on this. Not you in person, but your people. From the very first day you ever heard the name engineers employer, you people don't even mention engineers employer. You mention Ibrahim Mahama. You have made conclusive statement. You are here today asking for details. Details of what? Details of what? How did we come this far? Where have we come from? Engineers and planners have been working with gophers, which story we all know. In fact, they own virtually every equipment there. And when you go to, let me also maybe put out this caveat that I'm a member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee. So I know so much about that. There are things I may not be able to put out because surely ratification, we may work on a few things. Now, when we were sent, when we went to, my committee went to Damai, we met all the workers and we realized that the workers of engineers and planners were far more than even the workers of gophers themselves. I heard the MPP, some communicators saying that engineers and planners are only involved in the excavation of whatever and they are not actually miners. I don't know what that meant. I must you always have issues with everything? And they are comparing with what? SNET. And they are comparing with Gabi Asari Ochirida. He mentioned the name and Banti. And Gabi, I know, is a lawyer and has always been a lawyer. I have never known him to be a contractor. So if along the line we found a certain contract, it is all about expertise and what you've been doing before. Being given out to such a person, surely we will raise issues because it would surely not make sense apart from the fact of his allegiance or his alliance with the powers that be. That is the only conclusion we can make. So it is completely different. So EMP were working with gophers. They were essentially doing the mining, and that is what I call mining. That's what I know. I'm from a mining community. The mines is not where the one who packages the gold. It's the excavation of it and the processing. So engineers and planners have been involved. These people, long before His Excellency John Dramani Mahama became president, said we want to move out, which we all know the story. He said, then I want to take over if you are amenable to this arrangement. Then per the law, per mining laws, you cannot just take over. You need the consent of the minister for mines. And so it was written to the minister then, Abu Jinapo, Honorable, whose options are clearly spelled out in the law. If he approves of it, it goes through and then you discuss whatever and then you agree on the terms. If he disapproves, the law says he should object to it. And when he objects, that's the end. If you want to appeal, the processes are there. But then his decision, it tells you what his decisions can do to this arrangement. The then minister, in a letter we've all cited, we've all read, said, in fact, you have the technical know-how. We know your capability. And so you can proceed. I have no objection to the takeover. His own minister.
So why are you lumping MPP as against it?
No, you have said things. I'm saying that it's not just you. You were, I don't know, but in any case, you still raised issues. But I've heard people, not you. I've heard your senior officers and the things they've said. Who? So.
No, let him go.
No, I know, but it's a conversation. So you should also. No, I want to help him. He's not saying that it was our minister gave no objection. Is that not the case?
You see, this is what happened. Then the minister okayed it that I have no objection. In fact, you are the best person who can do the job. So proceed. Then there was a further discussion. From there, the processes continued. As the discussions unfolded, there was a change of government. Now His Excellency John Dramani Mahama came in and said, as a policy for all mines, I want local people to essentially take over. And so it wasn't only with Damai. In fact, I think most of them are giving up to December of this year to wrap up. Is that what we want or not? You've said that you do not have any issues with that. In fact, you are for it. Now, when the Daman thing had gone far, it had even received the assent of the government. The approval of the government, so it could have gone on smoothly.
That is my point.
But then the government then came and said, "No, do you really get the point I'm making?" So I'm surprised you are. So if they're receiving somebody EMP should be angry at, it should be this government. Well, this government now came and said, "Start everything, go through everything." As though there's never been that arrangement to take over where the government of the day, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo government, has okayed. So then we have to start everything afresh, open for people to also bid, other people, which was not the arrangement during the MPP. During the MPP, it had been given to EMP to discuss with Goldforce and take over. That was what happened. But when there was a change of government, the new government then said, no, go through the process again. Open up for other people to bid. These are factual matters nobody can dispute. It is also a fact that other companies also put in bids. The processes went on. Unfortunately, maybe the company we didn't see in there was Akwatia Mines. I don't know what happened. But at least
It was crippled.
I see.
By the party.
I see. If Akwatia Mines thought that they had the muscle, I thought that as a lawyer you understand that Akwatia Mines was not crippled in any way. Individual was, you know what a company is. So please, we are educating people. There is no way.
But you see,
allow me.
Who takes
Please.
control? He said because you are a lawyer. You guys impugning on my integrity.
Okay, so allow him. Let's go on. He will know that maybe it was on the light side, but he can't defend us. Because even if, basic company law, even if he dies, the company has perpetual succession. He knows this. We don't have to be graduate. So even if the Akwatia mine, whatever, wouldn't to be jailed today, except you tell me that it wasn't a company properly so called. You can't defend this. So please, you see what has happened. Who says transparency? What else were we expecting? What wasn't transparent? All the answers, the questions you've asked, we've answered you. Now, we are told that those companies that put in bids had their challenges. Those companies have never come out to say what is out there is not factual. The MPP is now the communication officers for those companies, raising all kinds of things. But you see, that wouldn't surely not wash. we've come far. EMP is taking over. There, everything has been transparent. The government's policy, I'm telling you today that as a committee, including senior members of MPP, Honorable Amprechum and then Honorable Pnedu, we were all there. We met with the people. We asked the questions we were supposed to ask. And now when we left there, we were all, clear in our minds that EMP was. But who is even telling us? What option did we have in this country better than EMP? Who is telling us? What could we have done differently? So if you compare that to other, that during President Akufo-Addo's time, people were raising, of course we will raise issues. Because you see, like my brother tried to explain, and he did eloquently. I don't want to waste my time on this thing. It wasn't a good one. To the point where even their own people were raising issues. And Honorable Brian Champon had to pull out. Did he or not? So the point we are making, and he was a sitting cabinet minister at the time. How can you compare that to this? Are we aware of the team that considered the proposals? Who are they? Did it include myself or the minister? Or is it a matter which we can interrogate to know whether there were some conflicts? There has been a report which we've cited. If you haven't, maybe I'll share a copy with you. Or your seniors, or your colleagues in the party have seen it. And so there is no issue. For me, you see, this trying to equalize, trying to raise issues that, oh, we are for it. But you see, we need, as if something was opaque. There was nothing opaque. It was very transparent. What we should all pray. Because you see, when we went to the field, we realized a lot of things. Who else could have done this? There are some tailings, you know, when they mine, they put the whatever on, and it is supposed to be excavated before they can even get to the concession proper to mine. And it would take millions of dollars to even do that. And nobody is getting anything from it. Now the other issue too is this. Look, we were told that if we had to demobilize the machines, engineers and planners machines there, that will also take millions of dollars to demobilize. Because those machines are not sold on the shelves. You need to procure them, and it will be manufactured and brought in. It's on a special case. So if we were going to, and that would even take months. Meanwhile, people are there. They want to work. We are paying them. So what those months that demobilizing and installing new machinery would last, what would have become of the workers there? But the good thing is that workers, some of whom were employed under your tenure, the minister has assured everybody that nobody is going home. You are all going to work, and they were happy. We were there, and the minister was also there. We happened to, watch on what was happening, and you could see smiles because everybody was, we didn't know what would have happened. So what is important is that the assurances that has been given by EMP, let's all pray. Because at the end of the day, if all this, he says, an airport, he says, because when we were going, yes, we went by air, but you can't go beyond Takrady. And after Takrady, we had to go by bus, all the MPs, to Damai. And you know the traffic situation in Takwa. Took us more than 2 hours, 2.5 hours, even though we had an escort. So the man Ibrahim, look, in this politics we do, you remember Extreme Quebec and the noise after they did whatever, and the Supreme Court did whatever for them. What became of the bauxite? 8 years. Tell me, this is what we do in this country. What became of the bauxite? And so, you see, these things we do, if you look, Ibrahim is his Ibrahim. You can't do anything about him. He has been successful. His only challenge that you claim is a challenge is that he is a brother to the president. That should be his problem. But you know that even within your 8 years, he was still his Ibrahim. So this, trying to equalize with people we knew. Let's be factual here. People we knew. You see, if you are not careful, you say things. People we knew where they were before, and all of a sudden, after their family relatives became president, where they have come to be. People who had no experience in certain fields were given contracts in those fields, which raised alarm, and properly so called. Because you see, we cannot also, so nobody should equalize. We will treat each case by the very merits we analyze. It will not be that because, so you see, now you've given it to Ibrahimo, so tomorrow if another government comes and then he does it, you should. No, we will analyze each case. We will check your track record. We should be sure that you can do what it cannot be that the government comes to power. Hold on. And just about 1 month after, I'm talking of SML, 1 month on the 14th day of February, Val's Day, you put together a company hurriedly, which had nothing to do with revenue collection. Then you give a whole revenue collection to him, and PPA raised the issue that they did not qualify. They didn't have the expertise. You said proceed to the extent that you proceeded to do this without PPA approval, and you said because what? Because there was a contract of a sort. We should be quiet. We shouldn't raise the issue. We will. When it comes to Ibrahim, raise it. We will give you answers.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just a couple of comments on our WhatsApp platform. This one from Myron Donko, who says, and I'm surprised at my brother saying that the president has given a mine to his brother. Please ask him who was the president in 2023 where EMP awarded a contract. Also, former president rented a plane at £17,000 an hour and he didn't say anything. Sometimes we behave like kids when it comes to politics. The president is using the plane free under the supervision of the Ghana Armed Forces to fuel the plane, and fueling it will not cost £17,000. Then this one says, okay, thank you very much. Kucho is joining us. Says, the South Africans, okay, they soon forget when they are in a tight corner. Nigerian fought with their oil money. Secondly, Ghana as well. After the freedom, they started some problem with Nigerians, and now Ghana. We can also strike or whoever. Okay. Then Kucho says, please, apart from the engineers and planners, which Ghanaian company can do the work? Look, let's be sincere to ourselves. The man Ibrahim Mahama is the man of the day. Let's not challenge Allah's will. That's from Kucho, who sent that.
There should be some insertions in that section, and these were the insertions that is made. He said before authorize, they should insert B. So meaning that the draft that was sent had no such B over there. And then also the is was supposed to be deleted, so that at the end of the day, if I go to that section, what do you call it, the OSP Act, that's how we call it, the Act 5959, and you read that section, you will realize that initially the act was trying to, per the act, authorize the OSP through the Attorney General to prosecute. So if no amendment, the amendments were not effected on the 1st of November 2017, then the act itself probably would have given the OSP the right to prosecute, because the act was also initiated by the Attorney General then. But now the act is saying that he shall be authorized by the Attorney General. So if the act is now speaking the same language as Article 88.4, then in effect it needs authorization from the Attorney General, in my legal opinion, before it can act, from the way the act has been drafted and agreed upon. So for anybody to think that the OSP can act on its own and prosecute people on this, it's quite a difficulty. And I believe the Supreme Court, who know best how to interpret our constitution, will come up with clear guidelines. Our time is up. I can say yes from your verbal, your facial expression. But you see, Senator, there are issues. When you read the memorandum of the Act 959, it is clear that what it intends doing is to make the OSP separate and independent. But I don't see how this section is making the OSP independent. So it's like, yes, we've seen that the section is not making the OSP independent. But let's carry on with it. Why? Because at the end of the day, if the OSP is to prosecute anybody, he's presenting the person before the court. It is the court that is going to make the final determination and not the OSP himself. So he should carry on. That was the thinking of MPP. That is why we got all manner of cases like Sicily, Dapa, and so on and so forth. Now, NDC comes into the picture. First year, yes, OSP is working. Then we see a barrage of attacks on the OSP. A lot of petitions get the OSP, the SP, Special Prosecutor off. Because I have been on record to have indicated, and I still indicate, that the Special Prosecutor himself is problematic. The Special Prosecutor himself, there are issues with him. That was done. It didn't see the light of day. And all these things started when the SP, or for that matter the OSP, started going after people who are either NDC or in bed with the NDC. That's when they realized that, hey, let's come up and then try and get this man or the office off. That is where the problem is. And in fact, if the Supreme Court comes up with a verdict that section should be struck out, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because with my level, not as grown and powerful like my senior, but with my level, I believe that this section does not give the OSP powers to prosecute without authorization from the, what do you call it, Attorney General. That is why you see, but yes, we know. But all this removal, they are orchestrating it. They are for it. And the Attorney General, I'm happy the way he has shown his face that he's for it. He goes to the Supreme, somebody takes him on at the Supreme Court to go and defend the state. He goes and supports the argument of the one who has taken him on. So, like the defendant supporting the plaintiff. Now, the one who thinks he's going to be affected, the OSP, tries to jump in and defend his office. The the AG, Attorney General, openly comes in and what do you say it? Oppose the OSP, and then the OSP is off. So I like the way, the openness, the fact that the Attorney General is showing. He goes to the High Court and speak against the office of the OSP. So if anybody says that yes, that is what the NDC or the government want, there is no argument about it. And they to me, they have that right. And I am of the view that the law also supports them. So once that is the position of the law, let's use it. But the only thing is that MPP was not afraid of any prosecution whatsoever. So they allowed it to work. But now that we are seeing sourcing, so many issues in there, the levels, I'm just landing. The boldness with which the SP was able to arrest, though I don't support the way he did it, to me it was wrongful, but the way he was bold enough to arrest a major mouthpiece of NDC in the person of Martin Pegu, he will go. They will let him go. And to me,
thank you,
that is likely to be lawful.
On record, Mr. Pegu has told me on radio that he is not.
See, I listen
he
to
has
you.
never been.
I listen to you. Yes, I listen to you, Pegu. I had that mindset that Pegu was eyeing the office of the SP. You asked Pegu whether he will accept that office. He said, oh, now that he has arrested me and for all that has gone on, it may not be right for me to accept. So he wanted it.
But this is not.
He wanted that position.
I'm talking about a recent interview. I don't know which interview you are referring
to. Oh, then maybe it wasn't him.
This was this week. If this was an old interview, I don't recall
it's not last week.
exactly the
then
details.
maybe it wasn't, because I listen to you a lot in the morning.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. This one says, Martin Abiu says, there's no problem maintaining the OSP as an independent investigative body, but to be given the prosecutorial powers cannot be. All prosecution must be done by the Attorney General of Ghana. My question is how independent that office will be if the OSP is appointed by government. I think that position must be advertised and applied for by individuals who are fit to do the work without interference from any government. Honorable.
Okay, so thank you. First and foremost, you heard my brother say that he is on record to have opposed or have issues with the current special prosecutor. I heard him.
Yeah, that's correct.
Then he now cited examples of other Ghanaians who equally have issues with the current special prosecutor. And he says, for the fact that they are NDC, but they disagree or they have issues with the current special prosecutor, it means it's orchestrated, they want him out. As for when he opposed or had issues with the special prosecutor, he and his people did not orchestrate anything. I can make some, at least, sense out of what has been said. It remains my opinion. Allow me. You see,
my problem is that if you are saying that,
I said what you said. You said it's a fact, and I made meaning out of it. That's my opinion. You can't say
I'm talking about the Attorney General.
What you are talking about is not the issue.
No, so if that is the meaning
that's
he
not what
makes
you
out
said.
of
You
it,
said the NDC. You kept mentioning NDC. You didn't. In any case, I'll deal with that. Relax. You see, this is the problem I have with them. The inconsistencies. When the Sicilian, before I even come to this matter, and so I've met with their people. I mean, and I was last week. I was their Kampuli. I was with him on City, and he couldn't have mentioned the things I heard him say later. I mean, on TV. What are they saying? When the Sicilian matter was all over in 2024, can I be right to say that they sent Ken Kranche, who is a former aspirant, I mean parliamentary aspirant of MPP, to the Supreme Court to have the Supreme Court annul that office in 2024? So suddenly, if you have issues, you cannot have an independent view about anything. For the fact that you are related politically, it means it's an orchestration. Ken Kranche went to the Supreme Court in 2024 and filed a suit for the Supreme Court to dissolve that office. Ken Kranche is MPP. Since why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? You know, interestingly, the Supreme Court ruled on the matter 3 days after President Mahama had been declared winner of the elections, 11th of December. You want us to relate? You want us to, do some analysis here? Let's not go there. There's been a judgment or a ruling from the High Court of the Republic, which High Court was not presided over by myself, a politician. It wasn't presided over by my very good brother. It wasn't even presided over by a judge that was appointed by John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. So what is the issue? That is the High Court of the Republic of Ghana, and in fact the case was at the instance of a private lawyer. It wasn't the Attorney General that took the matter to court. And as a private practitioner, all my days before I became MP, we do it all the time. When the brief is handed to you, you check facts, you ask your client, did you do it? What are the issues? After that, you look at procedure. Every good lawyer will look at procedure. The law. What did they take you through? What they should have done, they didn't do. So a private lawyer, and let me stress this, a private lawyer looks at the procedure and says that, I know OSP, with their act, they have in there section 4, which says that they needed an authorization from the Attorney General. I do not believe that they had that. So let me go to court and test it by a co-warrantor application, which compels you to show your authority. Now he goes to court, the Attorney General is sitting in his place. Let me put it that way. He goes to court, the High Court looks at the matter and says, yes, that's what your law says. That you should have authorization from the Attorney General. Where is it? That's the essence of co-warrantor application. Produce your authority. OSP could not produce it. But OSP is saying that their powers are inherent in the law And the judge says, I disagree. But that's the judge. And says that in that case, whatever you are doing without that authority, you are barred from proceeding legally. That's there. Now, and the High Court proceeded to order the Attorney General to take over the cases. Are they saying that the Attorney General should have disrespected the orders of the court? Regardless of how bad it is, we are taught that how bad, assuming it's even bad a law in terms of the judgment, you cannot say you will disobey it. So if the OSP has issues, his is to appeal. But I personally have an issue with my law lecturer. He taught me. Kisi Jabin taught me. I know what he's made of. But I don't know. Look, but for ego purposes, this is no issue. The Attorney General is saying that I am available. I will give you the authority. Come for it. You say I won't go. It's in the act. And you know what we are doing to ourselves? The presumed thieves, those who are in court, are now lavishing in their rooms and laughing. No more saying. And instead of our agencies, especially the OSP, instead of him going for that authority to go and prosecute the matter, we are here doing this, and the perpetrators are in their houses. You see what has happened now? Every other case, they are raising the same issue, including the former Attorney General, who is, I mean, sometimes I don't know this country. Me, when you say it, they say you shouldn't say it. A former Attorney General representing a public, I mean, a figure or somebody who occupied the public office during his tenure, and he has also raised the same issue that you do not have, the OSP does not have the mandate, and all those cases are stalled. I am, at least I'm speaking as a member of parliament, the OSP should stop this and bury his ego, go for the authorization and prosecute the matters. What do you lose? Chief, what do you lose? Because the law couldn't have been any different because of Article 88, 3 and 4. The 3 says that he has the exclusive power. The 4 talks about the delegation of authority. That if the Attorney General delegates, then you can proceed. What has been the record? Currently, Forestry Commission have the same authority. GRA has that authority. Police have that authority. MPA has that authority. How did they do it? Executive instrument. You don't even need parliamentary approval. The Attorney General says, I'm ready. I will sign it for you. Give you the scope. Go and prosecute. So who, I mean, in his right senses, with the greatest respect, will say that the Attorney General wants the OSP not to do, and the government wants to collapse the OSP's office? Where is that coming from? Is it the president that gave the decision?
You have to learn from me.
Oh,
my time is.
No, you see, please, you should get more time. This matter, because we even need to deal with the hypocrisy with which they are even talking about preventing people from airing their views and all this. It was part of your topic that they brought in their flag bearer who is now not conducting economic fora and is now talking about free speech. Well, I'm surprised. Maybe he wasn't around. So with the OSP, look, I'm saying he should bury his ego and then proceed to go for the because you cannot be independent under this current dispensation unless Article 88 is amended. And the fact that you go for that authority doesn't mean you are not, because you see, when you look at their Act Section 4, I think 1. Okay, Section 4(1) of the Act, they said they are not subject to any authority, but subject to accept the Constitution says so. In their prosecution, I'm not sure the Attorney General will come in and say add charge 1, count 1 or count 2, but you need authority. Just go for it, and then go and prosecute the matter. Because if we are not careful, I may also presume that you are deliberately doing this so that your other those people can, and then those cases that are being conducted, they will have a field day and then give excuses and right. That's exactly what is happening. Every lawyer is raising that. Finally, 1 minute on that matter, if you don't allow me to talk. You see, the hypocrisy with which MPP deals with this. That they say what? That because Baba Amando was arrested and the court remanded him, it means free speech is being guarded. I don't know why they do this, but you you see, you remember Dr. Asenfofo? If they want us to go there, we will go there. But what, I'm a lawyer. At least I have said, and I spoke to them. I challenged them to tell me what wrong the court did. The court was not under any legal obligation to listen to the prosecutor whether he opposes the bill or not. And that is not law. If you go to court and you seek bail for your client, the onus is solely on you to prove to the court, to convince the judge that your client would appear to stand trial pursuant to section 96. It is not based on whether the prosecution opposes the bill or he doesn't. That is not law.
Okay.
So you see,
Thank you.
no, if you have a law, please, and if he has to pay, if he has anything to say, to say it.
You're so wrong.
Yeah,
You're so wrong.
Please, I beg you, no, for him to say this, I beg you, allow me. I beg you, allow you. 1 minute, let him give me how I'm wrong. I beg you. Let him
You
do.
can't say that the
law. We are lawyers.
You can't say that no law bars the distant judge. The judge, as he sits, bail is his discretion, and that discretion ought to be exercised judiciously.
Okay.
So it's not.
So which law did he breach? We are asking which law did he breach?
It has to be exercised judiciously.
Okay. So
why the essence of not admitting somebody to bail is not to punish the person. Wait, let me talk. I told you.
Because you see, you know what is even interesting. No, I thought you would say no.
That's what I'm coming to. You see, because if he says it has to be acted, it means there is.
Okay, so
you see, that's not fair. Allow him. I mean, he's not able to. No. You see, no, chief. No, for this, even if you have to pay, you are no. How much somebody $1 million? For you to say I'm wrong. I mean, I was dining the whining pot. I had this banter with very senior lawyers. There is no law that judge breach.
Solo, please.
In any case, sometimes, hold on, please. Sometimes you also if you want to know the truth, you know what? He knows if he's been practicing that there are several occasions where the prosecutor says I oppose the bill, the judge grants the bill.
That is so.
So it means that it is not based on what he says.
Is it the case?
Yes.
Is it the case that you sitting here, you are telling me that with all that happened in court, the judge acting judiciously found reason why that person who himself went to the police.
You are not speaking law. You are not speaking law. What you are speaking law? You think tell me the law is breached. What law did the judge told you to act judiciously? What is he breach? You are not talking law.
Solo.
I'm not PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.